Fifth grade lesson 1.11 is evaluate numerical expressions. We are looking at order of operations in this lesson. Our essential question is, in what order must operations be evaluated to find the solution to a problem? To connect, remember that a numerical expression is a mathematical phrase, like a sentence, but in mathese, that uses only numbers and operation symbols. Operations, remember, are add, subtract, multiply, divide. So those symbols included with numbers. So these are all expressions or number sentences. And in order to evaluate or find the value of, evaluate means find the value of a numerical expression with more than one operation, you must follow rules called the order of operations. The order of operations tells you in what order you should evaluate an expression. So as you remember, when we were just adding things together and that was the only operation that was going on, we could kind of move things around and go in a whatever order. Or if we were multiplying, same thing because of commutative property. But when we were dividing or subtracting, we couldn't move things around. When we have a variety of different operations, it's the same thing. We can't really move things around. We have to go in a very specific order. Certain things have to happen before the others. And you have the list here. And when you get to learning about exponents, there will be another step that goes right in between here later for the exponents. But for now, this is the order that you'll be working on. So our first step that we would do is perform any operations that are inside of a parentheses. The little parentheses are the things that look like this. These here, these are the parentheses. Those have to happen first. Once all of those are cleared out, then we would multiply and divide whichever comes first going from left to the right. And then once we've cleared all of the multiplication and division out, then we would add and subtract whatever comes first going from left to right. So it's a process, takes a few steps, but once you get the hang of it, it's like a puzzle to solve. I like doing them. Let's unlock the problem. A bread recipe calls for 4 cups of wheat flour and 2 cups of rye flour. To triple the recipe, how many cups of flour are needed in all? So I have the 4 cups of wheat and 2 cups of rye that I would add together for one recipe, but I want to do that 3 times. We evaluate 3 times 4 to get the 4 cups of wheat flour, and 3 times 2, triple the recipe times the 2 cups of flour to find the total number of cups. Gabriella did not follow the order of operations correctly. She did 3 times 4 plus 3 times 2. First thing she did was added, and remember, the multiplication division has to be cleared before you can do any add or subtract. So she added first, and she got 4 plus 3 is 7. Then she multiplied 3 times 7 is 21, and 21 times 2 is 42. Let's see what the answer should have been if she had followed the proper order of operations. So first, we perform any operations in parentheses, and there aren't any here. Then we go and find any multiplication or division starting from the left and moving to the right. And the first thing here I find for multiplication is this 3 times 4. Let's do a different color there, 3 times 4, which is 12. Then I continue this step until I'm done with it, and there was still a multiply right here. So I'll do that. Now I have 12 plus 6. There is no more multiplication division, so I've completed that. I can go to the next step, and it's add. So 12 plus 6 is 18. There's going to be 18 cups of flour for the tripled recipe, for the 3 bread recipes that you're going to do, which makes a whole lot more sense than 42 cups of flour. You're scooping and scooping and scooping like crazy. So why was Gabriella's answer not correct? She added before she multiplied. Add before multiply. But 18 cups of flour is what's needed, not 42. All right, let's evaluate the expression with the parentheses. To evaluate an expression with parentheses, follow the order of operations. I brought the picture over here. This is on the previous page. Perform the operations in parentheses first, then multiply left to right, then add and subtract from left to right. Example, each batch, one batch of granola Lena makes, uses 3 cups of oats, 1 cup of raisins, and 2 cups of nuts. Lena wants to make 5 batches of granola. How many cups of oats, raisins, and nuts will she need in all? So she's doing the 3 cups of oats, 1 cup of raisins, 2 cups of nuts. All together, if I added those together, I have 6 cups, right? They just went ahead and put that out that I know I'm going to have to add that up. That's just for one batch. I want to do that 5 times because I'm doing 5 batches. So 5 times all of those added together. Okay, I have to clear all the operations that are in parentheses first. So here's my parentheses. 3 plus 1 is 4, and 4 plus 2 is 6. I've now cleared everything in the parentheses first. So now I'm allowed to go to my next step, multiplication or division, whichever shows up first as I go from left to right, and it was multiplication. 5 times 6 is 30. So she will use 30 cups of oats, raisins, and nuts in all for all 5 of those batches she wants to make. What if Lena makes 4 batches? Will this change the numerical expression? It will, right? Because she was making 5 batches, and now she's only going to make 4 batches. So yes, it will. We will have 4 times 3 plus 1 plus 2 to get the answer to that. So that's all this is just getting us used to which order we need to go in order to get to a correct result, a correct answer at the end. Okay, we've got some try thising to do. Rewrite the expression with parentheses to equal the given value. We have 6 plus 12 times 8 minus 3, and the value was 141. They want us to evaluate the expression without the parentheses. Yeah, because we don't have parentheses there. So without the parentheses, what would we get? We're going to get, let's take a look, 6 plus 12 times 8 minus 3. So the order of operations says, we don't have parentheses, multiply and divide, so this would go next, 12 times 8. And 12 times 8, you might know your 12s. I don't know my 12s, so I just use the algorithm. 96. Cross off what you did. Bring down the things you didn't do. Now add or subtract whichever comes first from left to right. So the 6 plus 96 has to come first. And that's going to be 102. And then subtract 3 from that. And I get 99. But notice they said, oh, you need to do it for the value of 141. So that's what they want us to do. When we evaluated without the parentheses, we ended up with 99. Now the puzzle they're giving us is try placing parentheses in there so that your expression is in fact 141. Okay, well, I know that this happened first when I did it down here, and multiply is going to be where I'm getting the biggest numbers, right? What if I had this addition go first? I'm really looking for something that makes this multiplication go out even higher because I need this to go up by a lot more. And subtraction is taking numbers down lower. And I'm looking for something to force things upward from 99 to 141. So what if I added, because I already multiplied first, so okay, what if I added first? So let's explore that. Maybe we'll be right, maybe we'll be wrong. This is going to be done first now that I've put parentheses around it. 6 plus 12 is 18. Now that's cleared. And now I have to go to the next step, multiply 18 times 8. And so that's why I added first in there. I put the parentheses around the addition as the puzzle to try and solve how I can force that to be 141. So this is going to be a higher number than the previous one when I did 12 times 8, because 18 times 8 will be higher. That is 64, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 144. Cross off what you did, bring down what you didn't. And there I went, 144 minus 3 is going to be 141. So that was the trick. That was where the parentheses needed to go in order to get that. So this was just kind of like a little game to play with your brain. If I use proper order of operations on this expression, I'm going to get 99. Their question was, how can you change this expression so that you actually get 141, not 99? And so the way to solve it was to say, let's do this addition first, but I have to put parentheses around it to bump addition above multiplication because parentheses always come first. Let's try that same idea again here. We have 5 plus 28 divided by 7 minus 4. And they want us to get a value of 11. So I'm assuming then if I use on this the order of operations without any parentheses on here, that I won't get 11, I'll get something else. Let's find out what we get. Okay, I've written it here. And order of operations says perform anything with parentheses first. At this point, there's no parentheses. That's the game that they want me to play. No parentheses right now. Multiply or divide from left to right, whichever comes first. Well, that's add, and there's divide, so that's going to go first. 28 divided by 7 is 4. Cross off what I did, bring down what I didn't do. Now add, subtract, whichever comes first when we go from left to right. So starting here, the addition shows up first. That's 9. And 9 minus 4 is 5. So without parentheses, the answer comes out 5. How can I manipulate this expression so that my answer is 11, a little bit higher? And I'm looking at this, and I know I only needed to be 6 higher. I already did this one first because order of operations pushed that. What if I did this first? I get 28 plus 5, 33. It would be 33 if that was in parentheses first, and then divide by 7. That's going to give me some sort of a decimal number. I'm pretty sure they're not going to push me into that. What if I did 7 minus 4 first? That's 3. 28 divided by 3. Do I land on that perfectly? 28 divided by 3? I don't. And I can't think of anything else other than, what if I put 2 sets of parentheses? It doesn't say, it says parentheses, and I guess it could be plural. What if I did this and that? I wonder if that would work. 5 plus 28 is 33. And 7 minus 4 is 3. Oh, yes, that's what it is. And 33 divided by 3 is 11. That one took a little brain power to it. So we had to put this in parentheses and this in parentheses. So we handled both of this operation first and this operation first before we divided. So we pushed our addition to the top by putting parentheses around it, subtraction to the top by putting parentheses around it, and then division came after that. Oh, tricky, tricky. That was kind of a pondering one. Took me a minute. Okay, so maybe in your Think Central you'll end up with some puzzles like the one we just did, but you're also just going to end up with numerical expressions that you simply need to evaluate using the order of operations. So we have 10 plus 36 divided by 9. No parentheses to clear there, so move to the next step. Multiply or divide, whichever comes first, and their division came first. 36 divided by 9 is 4, because 9 times 4 is 36. And I cross off what I did, of course, and I brought down what I didn't, and now I have 10 plus 4 is 14. Evaluated, completed. 14 is the answer. Go ahead and pause, try number 2 if you want. If you're still not ready to pause and try it, that's okay. I'll do this one with you too. We have parentheses that need to be cleared first. So anytime they're in the parentheses, that means do that first. Psst, do this one first. So here I go. 25 minus 10 is 15. Cross off what you did, bring down the stuff you didn't do. Now I have 10 plus 15 divided by 5. No more parentheses left. I cleared them. So I multiply or divide whichever comes first from left to right. Here, division showed up. 15 divided by 5 is 3, because 3 times 5 is 15. Cross off what you did and bring down what you didn't. So this was the calculation, crossed off, and bring down the 10 plus, and 10 plus 3 is 13. Now you might feel ready to go ahead and try this without me. Go ahead and try this without me. And hopefully you got there. If not, if you got stuck, that's okay too. We learn. We got to be patient with our brains while we learn. So let's have a look. I have 9 minus 3 times 2 plus 8. I need to perform operations in parentheses first. Right here are some parentheses. I will do that first. 3 times 2 is 6. Cross off what I did, bring down what I didn't. All of my multiplication division is clear, got cleared in the parentheses step. I'm just left with subtract, add, or subtract. And it's add or subtract whichever comes first from left to right. So I start from left and I move to the right. And in this case, the subtract came first. Common mistake is people see add or subtract and think we have to clear all your addition and then subtraction. The reason they are in the same row is whichever shows up first. Subtraction showed up first. One's not more important than the other. They're equally important in that row. 9 minus 6 is 3. Cross off what I did, bring down what I didn't, and then 3 plus 8 is 11. I call this pizza math because it always ends up narrowing down like that, one bite at a time. That's my crust, is the expression, and the pepperoni is my answer. Aren't you hungry now? Hopefully this explained it well enough. You're ready to go on Think Central. Use the steps from the previous page, page 47, to help you out. Good luck.